Hello and welcome to my creative space. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Welcome to another DIY video. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe and join this creative squad. And now, let's get started. For DIY number one, I'm going to take these they're garden stakes that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I thought they were perfect for this project. I took these pieces of wood that I already had on hand, and I'm going to be using those to create a frame. Then I am going to glue these 4 pieces together. The white pieces came from a frame, not a frame, I'm sorry, a canvas. And the black ones, I already had them on hand, but they're wooden dowels just in a square shape, basically. Now, I took the popsicle sticks, the very big jumbo ones, and I am cutting them to the size I need them. Now that I have that all glued together, I am going to paint my frame in the color white, and I am using my acrylic white paint. Now, I'm going to take this Dollar Tree acrylic paint, which is not the best, let me tell you, but that was the only royal blue color I had, and I just really wanted to use this color. So I am going to use that to paint my popsicle sticks. Once I have them ready to go, I'm going to let them dry, and in the meantime, I am going to remove the metal pieces of these suns because I don't need them. I tried and I could not do it, so I had my husband help me cut those off, and voila, here we have them. All right, now that everything is dried, I am going to start gluing my popsicle sticks to the back of my frame, and I am going to be using hot glue for that. So I am just going to glue all these pieces together. Now that the popsicle sticks are all glued to the back of this frame, it's time to glue the suns into place. I am going to be using a mixture of hot glue and some E6000. I tried it here with just hot glue and it did not work. They came right off, so I had to go back and add the E6000 to make sure they glued into place. Here is what they're looking like. Now, I took these Dollar Tree hooks and I spray paint them black, and I am going to be screwing them into the back of this frame. And I was just trying to see if I wanted to use 2 or 3, and I decided to go for 3. And now I'm gonna turn it around, and I am going to mark with a pencil exactly where I would need to screw my screws. And I am going to use my ruler to make sure that all of them are even, and that way everything is nice and good. Please don't mind the back of this piece. It's not pretty. I should have painted it, but it was late and I was trying to finish this project. Please don't judge me. But anyway, so I took the drill and I created the holes. I tried just screwing the screws into the wood, which was working, but it was cracking. And I was scared that this was going to turn into a hot mess, which is why I decided to use the drill for this. And everything was fine. I was able to screw everything into place. And now here is the end result. I love how this piece turned out. Definitely loving how colorful it is. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Surprise! Today's video is actually a collab with a YouTube friend, Daniela, the crafty mixologist. She does all kinds of fun DIYs and she shares cocktail recipes while crafting. I love how bold and colorful her DIYs are. I am so happy she wanted to collaborate with me because I usually don't use much color on my DIYs, and I took this as a challenge to create sun and moon inspired DIYs. I hope you check out her channel. You won't regret it. She is really good at doing what she does, and the link will be in my description box. Now let's go back to crafting. For my next DIY, I'm using this basket, this round sign, and I traced a sun from my last DIY on paper. I am going to remove the hanger off of this circle sign, and now I'm using this technique I saw Savannah from Savvy Crafts with Savannah use, which is just heating up the tag or the little sticker on the back with the lighter, and that helps it come off faster. It did work, but this sticker might have been a little bit too sticky, and it did give me a little bit of trouble, but at the end it worked. All right, so once I have that, as you saw me, I traced the circle into the sun. That is going to help me in a second. Once I cut off this sun off, I am going to fold it in half. and I am going to create a crease. Once I have that, I am taking my pencil, and now I am going to trace a moon into this sun. And once I have the moon, we will cut all these pieces off. I am going to start by cutting the edges off the side of the moon, and then I will remove the moon off of this. Now we are going to have two pieces, a half of a moon and a half of a sun. Now I am going to trace them onto these silver tiles from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to trace the moon and then cut that off, and then I am going to trace the sun and cut that off as well. As you can see, I had already tried this and it did not turn out the way I wanted it, so I had to trace it again and then cut it off, and I like how it's looking. Now that I have my pieces, I'm taking the same tape to create that half of a circle, and I am going to be adding some hot glue where I marked the half of a circle. And then I'll take it outside, spray paint it gold, and there we have our sun. I am going to leave the moon as is. Now I am going to take my acrylic white paint, and I am going to paint this sign. This might feel like an extra step, but I think it's going to make a difference. Now I had these two canvases I found at the Dollar Tree. To me, they remind me of the Mexican tiles. I know there's also Spanish tiles that look like this, but I am going to take these and I am going to cut it off to fit the circle sign. So I took my pencil, traced it, and then I am going to take the scissors and I am going to cut that circle off. Once I have my circle cut off, I am going to glue it onto the circle sign, and I am going to add hot glue. I try to do this as fast as I could because you know when hot glue dries, it gets bumpy, and I did not want that look, so I try to move fast on here. Now the edges, even though I traced the circle, they were still kind of sticking out, so I took my lighter and kind of burned the edges. Once I had that, now I decided I need to paint this because it looks ugly on the back. So I removed the picture it had, and now I am going to be using my acrylic white paint and just painting the back so it can look nice and pretty. Once that is done, I am taking my basket and we are going to create a little table. How cool is this? Now I am going to add some hot glue to glue these two pieces. You could use something else to make it look nicer. I just went in with hot glue because it's faster, and I don't know what else I can use, honestly. But anyway, so I used my ruler, make sure everything was even, and then added hot glue. Here is what it's looking like. Now it's time to add our sun and our moon, and I will be gluing those into place with some hot glue, and I will be placing the moon first, and then I will glue the sun on top. And I really think this little table turns out really pretty. And now we are almost done. Our sun is glued into place. Here is the end result. I love how this little table turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. For my next DIY, I am going to start by grabbing this vinyl top and this charger. I'm not sure if that's what it's called. You'll let me know. I'm sure you will. But anyway, so I'm going to start by, I wanted to trace the charger on this, but it's too big. So I went and grabbed one of my baking pans and I traced that circle. And then I grabbed a smaller one and I am going to trace a smaller circle. You'll see why we're going to need this in a second. Once I trace my circles, I am going to cut off the extra parts of this vinyl, and I am going to fold it in half, and I am going to take my ruler and I'm basically going to create lines. And once I trace all my lines, now here is why I needed that, because now I am going to start creating my sun. I am going to use a pencil and kind of just I don't want it to be perfect. I am just going to trace the sun rays, and after I will take my scissors and I am going to start cutting this sun off. Now you could trace, or I guess not trace, but cut this on vinyl if you have a Cricut machine. It would be much better. This is just me, my hands doing this, but it can be any color you want and it could say anything you want. This is just what I decided to do, to use Dollar Tree products, and for those of you that don't have a Cricut machine, and that would be a good way to do this. Now, to do the moon, we are going to need another half of a circle. I kind of traced it here, and as you can see, it's not perfect, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna make it perfect in a little bit. Just trace a half of a circle. Ignore that I am curving this right now because I do not end up doing that. I do end up cutting half a circle, and you'll see in a second once I am done cutting this off, you will see what I did. Here is the half of a circle I am talking about. Now here, once I place it on top of the sun, here is where I decide how much I need to cut off. So I put the sun on at the bottom and then the moon on top, and then I am going to cut that off. Once that is there, here is the moon. Now I spray paint the sun gold again, and then I took the same royal paint and I am going to paint the moon in this color. Again, if you have vinyl, you don't have to do any of these. All you have to do is just tell your Cricut machine to cut it and you will be done. All right, now it's time to glue these pieces. I am just placing them on there to see how I want this to go. And I start with the sun and I add some hot glue and place it on my charger. Once that is there, I am going to start gluing the remainder of this sun into place. And then I will also move on to gluing the moon into place. And now I am going to take these rub-on stickers that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and what a good deal, $1 for all these stickers. And I want mine to say create your own sunshine, and I am just going to cut all the letters that I need and then literally just rub them onto the charger, and there you have it. Not hard at all. I love creating these DIYs. Definitely challenge me because you know I love creating my farmhouse DIYs. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Daniela's channel for lots of inspiration. Here is the end result. I think my favorite was definitely my first DIY, but you let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite DIY in today's video. Also, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you on my next DIY. Bye!